Great North Woods to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, many departments responded to a large structure fire in the town of Rockwood last night. We'll have the latest coming up.
Plus, new information has been released regarding the fatal explosion at Robbins Lumber Mill back in May.
And the state's highest court has affirmed motive care for non-emergency transportation for Maine Care members. We'll bring you that story as well. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us on this Monday morning. We hope you had a nice weekend. Hope you had a nice weekend too.
As well. We were just talking about it. So the weather originally was going to be very rainy, but it actually cleared up to be quite nice.
Yeah, it turned out pretty nice. Once the rain moved through the area, we saw some sunshine.
Exactly.
And, yeah, it looks like we'll see more of the same today. A partly cloudy day ahead today. Maybe some thunderstorms developing later on today.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We'll turn things over to meteorologist Chase Ropeneck.
Thank you very much. Your first weather this morning is brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. All right, a pretty warm morning out there to start off the work week. We have lows this morning in the mid to upper 60s here in Bangor, close to 70 in Millinocket this morning. Some areas a bit cooler, low 60s for Clayton Lake. You see that down in the southwestern portion of the state, 55 for you in Portland, but still a very warm morning here in the central portions of the viewing area. And we'll warm up throughout today as well. Looking at mid to upper 80s out there this afternoon. Many of us look to stay dry with partly cloudy skies. We can see here a bit cooler up north. That's due to a slight chance for a few showers and thunderstorms that can cool you off in the northern state of the northern tier of the state this afternoon. So as we go throughout today, you will see plenty of sunshine here in the Bangor and coastal regions. But yes, here's that cloud cover further north for you with that slight chance for a few pop-up showers and a few thunderstorms are possible as well. We'll have better chances for those showers and thunderstorms head into overnight. This is when the cold front's going to pass through and we'll have much better weather going into your Tuesday. So your hour-by-hour forecast for today, still plenty of dry hours out there. Don't be canceling any plans to start off the work week. We're going to warm up nicely. Partly cloudy skies out there this afternoon, looking at mid to upper 80s into the afternoon hours. And again, with a slight chance for a few thunderstorms heading into the northern tier of the state.
All right. Thank you, Chase. We'll see you a little later on. Well, first this morning, fire crews from numerous departments responded to a serious house fire last night in the town of Rockwood. It was around 5 o'clock when crews were called to the village road. This is a video posted by the Moosehead Lakeshore Journal. According to the Journal, the fire happened at a residential home near the town's boat launch. Information is limited at this time, but we've been told the home is a total loss and a dog is missing. Fire departments from Greenville and Jackman also assisted on the scene there. We'll provide more information when that becomes available.
Well, a former mill in Munson was decimated by a raging fire on Saturday night. Local residents told us it's a heartbreaking end to generations of history. Our Callie Warren with that story.
Munson Borough Tupis Cataclysm. We have a major fire at this time, major fire. It's the whole mill fully involved.
Saturday night, emergency crews from 20 towns were called to Monson for a massive fire in a former mill, which the Monson Fire Department says began as a debris fire by the property owner.
It started out as a permitted burn, and it just got away from him, and someone finally called 911, and when we got here, this whole main part of the mill was fully involved, and then 2 more buildings out back caught fire.
Crews remained on scene Sunday for hotspots, with one of the buildings reigniting in the early afternoon.
John, can you stop me an engine out of Sangerville and a tanker out of Guilford? One of these other buildings' roofs is on fire.
One firefighter received minor injuries in the blaze. Crews say they expect to remain on scene throughout much of the week.
Oh, it was hard to see the whole thing go up in flames.
According to locals, the space was full of history, once providing careers for generations in the area.
These buildings were originally built by the Monson Slate Company, and they were mining slate from the 1870s up through probably the 1940s. In the late 40s, this became Moosehead Manufacturing, where they made furniture.
Poole says Moosehead Manufacturing closed in 2007. The property remained mostly unused since.
Very difficult to watch. You know, it's such a sad end, really.
For a small community like Monson, residents say it's a deeply impactful event.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, I got a text that just said, "Can you see the smoke?" Sometimes you might hear about a house having a kitchen fire type of situation, but nothing ever this big, nothing that impacts the town this heavily I've ever experienced.
In Monson, Callie Warren, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, in other news, a man from Waterville died over the weekend while swimming in a New Hampshire lake. State police say that 45-year-old Sean Meter was swimming in Ossipee Lake in the town of Freedom when the incident occurred. Rescuers received a report on Saturday afternoon that a swimmer had gone beneath the surface and could not be found. A dive team pulled Meter from the water, but he could not be revived. Officials say his death does not appear to be suspicious, and that case remains under investigation.
Meanwhile, a standoff between a 25-year-old male and police occurred Saturday night in Kenduskeag. According to the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office, they were called to Kenduskeag for a report of a domestic violence incident. Authorities say 25-year-old Liam Geegan refused to cooperate with police, resulting in that standoff. Geegan was arrested and taken to the Penobscot County Jail. He has been charged with domestic assault, criminal threatening, violation of probation, and the Sheriff's Office says additional charges are expected to be filed.
A Hancock man on Friday died as a result of a motorcycle SUV crash. Maine State Police spokesperson Shannon Moss says that police arrived just after 9:30 p.m. to a crash on Route 1 in Hancock. 29-year-old Richard Ryan, the motorcycle operator, was pronounced dead at the scene. The SUV driver was unharmed. Troopers are actively investigating the incident and are asking anyone with information to contact Trooper Bagley through the Bangor Regional Communications Center. That number is 973-3700. No additional information has been released at this time.
A man with a lengthy criminal record is charged with murder for the death of a person on Portland's Back Cove.
You are charged in the criminal complaint with intentional knowing murder.
Portland police say on Wednesday night the victim was walking on the Back Cove trail with friends when a man on a bike approached them. There was a fight and the man on the bike took off. Police then found the victim, 21-year-old Julian Nadeau, lying in the breakdown lane along 295 next to the path on Tukey's Bridge. Nadeau was pronounced dead at the hospital. Police say they caught the suspect, 58-year-old Glenn Rodney of Presumscott Street, who appeared in court on Friday with a gash on his forehead. Rodney's criminal history includes at least 4 assault charges, including domestic violence assault. Police are not saying how Nadeau died. We expect more details will be released as the week unfolds.
Well, several crews from around Orono, VZ, and Milford responded to a train derailment on Saturday afternoon. It happened in the Orono, VZ area. Authorities were seen staging at the Penobscot Valley Country Club to respond to the incident on the railroad track between the course and the Penobscot River. According to the Orono Fire Department, 32 cars were on the train and 13 derailed. They say there were no leaks, spills, or hazards to the public, and there were also no injuries. They said that the cleanup could take a couple of days and the rail line will be closed for the foreseeable future until the tracks are repaired.
New information has been released by federal investigators regarding the fatal explosion at Robbins Lumber Mill in Searsmont. The report indicates that neither firefighters nor facility employees truly knew the risks that they were up against on that terrible day. Callie Warren also has that story.
There's been a huge explosion. The silo just exploded.
We now know some of the contributing factors behind Searsmont's tragedy at the Robbins Lumber Mill back in May. An investigation by the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, or NIOSH, finds that the response to the initial fire in a mill silo, quote, unintentionally caused its explosion. NIOSH says facility employees and firefighters were not aware that the silo was an oxygen-limiting structure. Their report says they were not aware it presented a combustion hazard. Crews thought that the fire was under control when the explosion occurred. That explosion caused one immediate firefighter death, Andrew Cross of the Morrill Fire Department. Belmont Fire Assistant Chief Wayne Woodbury later died of his injuries, and Robbins Lumber executive Alden Robbins was also killed as a result of injuries he sustained. Several more people were critically injured, many receiving severe burns. The local fire departments responding to that initial blaze were mostly volunteers, and according to NIOSH, were used to fires at conventional silos and not oxygen-limiting ones. NIOSH says more training around silo risks could have been helpful in this incident. However, they stress that firefighters did not know the risks they were dealing with. The town of Searsmont released a statement on social media. Town clerk Angela Silly said in part, quote, "While the investigation continues and new information has been released, It's important that we remember there is a difference between understanding what may have happened and assigning blame. Volunteer firefighters answer the call at all hours of the day and night. They train diligently and make difficult decisions under rapidly changing, high-pressure conditions. Those decisions are made with the information available at the time and with one goal in mind: protecting lives and property. As investigations move forward, we should allow the facts to guide any conclusions. It is neither fair nor constructive to rush to judgment or to diminish the dedication of the firefighters who responded or the company that suffered such a devastating loss." End quote. A link to that full report is available on our website alongside Silly's full statement. Callie Warren reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, a Maine nurse is back home after ICE arrested her. That arrest sparked a lot of outrage and a push for her release. And now her supporters are celebrating, even as what happens next in her case remains uncertain. Allison LaPierre tells us more about Deborah Capiscia in her welcome home.
Union nurses, community members, and allies gathered in Portland on Friday to welcome home Deborah Capiscia, a Maine med nurse who recently was released from federal ICE custody.
She is free, and once again, the people of Portland, Maine have faced down the fascist regime of Donald Trump and Stephen Miller, and we have won.
Yeah! Federal officials say Maine Medical Center nurse Deborah Capiscia was detained by ICE last week while traveling through Boston Logan International Airport. A few days later, the Maine State Nurses Association held a rally demanding her release. Today, a handful of nurses, community members, and allies came together to welcome her home. Capiscia wasn't there in person today, but shared a statement saying, quote, "Thank you all for your love and support. I am thankful to be home and can't wait to return to my coworkers and patients." Capiscia is originally from Zambia. DHS tells us Capiscia arrived in the U.S. in May of 2024 and that her visa expired in November of that year, which led to her arrest. But her coworkers claim she has a pending asylum case and that she's legally allowed to live and work in the U.S.
You can't just disappear and no one's going to notice and no one's going to care. Your coworkers will come out and they will stand by you and they will fight to get you out.
After Capiscia was released, we followed up with DHS and asked why and when she was released. We have not yet heard back.
And that was Allison LaPierre reporting. Well, the time now is 6:12. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, health officials advise residents to stay alert for animals that may have rabies. We'll have that story ahead.
But first, another look at that weather forecast. A partly cloudy day ahead today. Chance for a few thunderstorms later on. High temperatures around 88 degrees. Showers and thunderstorms tonight with lows in the low 60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and breezy. Highs near 83. We'll be right back.
Seasons Lounge and Banquet Center. We're just one block from Hollywood Slots in Bangor and are now under new management with a new chef and a completely redesigned menu. Come grab a drink and enjoy a meal with us. Fans, food, fun. Seasons.
Davis Brothers Furniture is expanding. At Davis Brothers, we've always strived to stand out from the rest, and we are now proud to offer flooring for your home, featuring both carpeting and luxury vinyl flooring. We even have an installer in-house with over 30 years of experience. Come see the reason people have been traveling from all over the state and beyond to Davis Brothers Furniture in Guilford for decades. Davis Brothers Furniture, deliberately different, delivering statewide.
Hey, Maine, think you're wicked smart? Well, put your knowledge to the test with me, Ken Jennings, on Jeopardy! Weeknights at 7:30 on ABC7.
Seasons Lounge and Banquet Center. We're just one block from Hollywood Slots in Bangor and are now under new management with a new chef and a completely redesigned menu. Come grab a drink and enjoy a meal with us. Fans, food, fun. Seasons.
Family Feud asks, what were they thinking?
You're at an open casket funeral. You notice the deceased pants were unzipped. What you gonna do? Unzip pants.
I would write a note.
You want him to read it?
Family Feud.
Weekdays at 9 on ABC7.
Health officials are urging residents to stay alert for animals that might be carrying rabies. Our Alex Schley has more on what experts say you should know to keep yourself safe.
So far in 2026, 15 animals in Maine have tested positive for rabies. Human cases of rabies are extremely rare.
The last case of human rabies in Maine was 1937.
Still, health officials say if contracted, it's nearly always deadly.
Once you start having symptoms, it's too late, and the disease is invariably fatal.
While rabies is most commonly found in wildlife, veterinarians say the virus is present in a number of animals across Maine.
Most of the wildlife is the ones we're most concerned with. Bats are, of course, top of the list. Raccoons, skunks, feral cats, dogs, and domestic cats also.
Experts also say the warning signs can vary.
So especially our nocturnal animals, if we're talking about skunks, bats especially. If you see one out in the day that is either acting incredibly erratic, or the other form of rabies is the dumb form of rabies where they aren't moving or really unreactive.
If you have any contact with an animal that could have rabies, health officials say to err on the side of caution.
The nice thing is, if you've been exposed, you've got time. You've got, it takes, days to maybe over a week before you're going to start seeing symptoms.
It's another reason to be safe rather than sorry and get shots. Experts also stress the importance of keeping pets up to date on their rabies vaccinations.
Especially since bats can get into houses so easily through tiny cracks, tiny gaps in doors, windows. Even your indoor animals ought to be vaccinated because of the potential risk for bat exposure.
If you do encounter an animal that's presenting rabies-like symptoms or have close contact with a bat, officials say to contact Animal Control and the Center for Disease Control. In Bangor, Alex Schley for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, meanwhile, after a Maine Supreme Court decision, Colorado-based Motive Care will soon serve as the exclusive non-emergency transportation provider for Maine Care members. That ruling comes after the company was awarded that multi-million-dollar contract 3 years ago and has received local pushback since. Our Doug Banks spoke with people on both sides of that debate.
The Maine Supreme Judicial Court has affirmed the state's 2023 decision to award Motive Care with non-emergency transportation services for Maine Care members.
The Colorado-based company was awarded the 10-year, $750 million contract in 2023 by the Maine Department of Health and Human Services to provide those services for Regions 2, 3, 4, and 8, effectively making them the statewide provider, since they already cover Regions 1, 5, 6, and 7.
We're obviously excited. We've been in Maine for 13 years now.
The local social services nonprofit Penquist Cap appealed that 2023 decision, and they were backed by state lawmakers.
The issue had all along been that there was not enough public input, public accountability, transparency in how this contract was awarded.
In August of last year, Motive Care filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
That's been resolved. We emerged from bankruptcy December 29th, 2025.
On Tuesday, Maine's highest court upheld the findings of a lower court and rejected Penquist's appeal.
Well, I think the court's decision is basically they feel this is a political issue and not a legal one.
The nonprofit's president said they'll, quote, abide by the decision, end quote, and they'll continue to provide those services until December 31st.
They actually are the people that provide transportation to and from. We're coming in to do our part, which is actually manage the program. And it's our intent to continue to work with them.
Further information for Maine Care members utilizing Penquist for non-emergency transportation services can go to our website. Doug Banks reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, the time now is 6:18. After the break, deadly wildfires are still burning in the western United States. We'll have more on that coming up.
Plus, a Maine tradition returns to Dexter. We'll get a taste of the Red Hot Dog Festival as Good Morning Maine continues.
If you believe in a campaign that's honest.
Honest. Troy Jackson was accused of mortgage fraud for falsifying documents to get a low-interest loan. Jackson billed taxpayers for massive travel expenses, even though his house was only a few miles from the state capitol. Who approved his taxpayer-funded expenses? He did. And Jackson was known for bullying women. Troy Jackson, falsifying documents, ripping off taxpayers, and a bully we can't trust. Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Keep your boat safe, functional, and beautiful with a Shoremaster boat lift from Hammond Lumber Company. Your Hammond sales rep can help you choose the perfect lift for your boat. Shoremaster's exclusive Whisper winch offers the industry's smoothest and quietest operation. Add speed and convenience with a Shoremaster lift motor. And Shoremaster's modular Infinity design makes it easy to upgrade with accessories when you're ready. Take your boating experience to the next level with a Shoremaster boat lift from Hammond Lumber Company.
Here at Twin City Tire and Service, you will be working with industry professionals. We have ASE certified master technicians and certified tire and lube technicians. If we need your vehicle for a duration of time, we offer a complimentary shuttle service and can even offer a loaner vehicle. Being a client at Twin City Tire and Service means that we will treat you right. This includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on mechanical repairs. We also provide you with 1 year of complimentary roadside assistance. Come see us today at Twin City Tire and Service in Brew.
Dexter's Red Hot Dog Festival was Saturday, and days leading up to that event, local businesses were gearing up for the surge of visitors. The team at Ace Hardware on Main Street said that while they don't anticipate selling too many tools, they do look forward every year to the burst in downtown activity.
We get here, I'm usually here about 5:36 in the morning, and there's people from every state on the East Coast packed out back for the running events. And it lasts all day. So it's very community orientated, a lot of events, wood carving. There's quite a bit to do. There's a lot of people that show up for the event. It's really big.
Locals shared that the loss of the Dexter Shoe Company in the early 2000s left a major mark on the business community. However, this festival has helped increase foot traffic and community morale.
Well, that unique Maine tradition did return to Dexter over the weekend, bringing in thousands of red hot dog lovers to town. We return now to Callie Warren, who also has that story.
I love red hot dogs.
That's the way many people felt in Dexter on Saturday. Thousands, in fact, who flocked to the streets of the small Maine town to celebrate the iconic red hot dog.
It's a big day. We look forward to this day all year long. You know, a Maine red snapper is synonymous with a Maine summer.
The Red Snapper celebration revolves around the New England tradition, with hot dogs from local WVII Sons.
Throw them on the grill and
get them nice and crispy and crunchy on the outside.
WVII Sons Vice President Sean Smith says they sold an estimated 5,000 dogs each festival.
You know, everybody's here, we're celebrating the red snapper, you know, and that's something that means a whole lot to my family and our company and the people of Maine, as you can tell. So for us to be a part of it and to do our part to keep the tradition going, it means a lot to us.
It's just great to see the people get together and have a good time. We double our size here when we do these things, and it's amazing.
One beloved aspect of the festival is the hot dog eating competition, where reigning champ Alan Dill took home his 4th trophy. He says his favorite part of the contest is the camaraderie. The Red Snappers and the trophy are a bonus.
I do like hot dogs, and I like the friendships that we have among each of the contestants, how we're really rooting for each other. I think that's awesome.
In Dexter, Callie Warren, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Looks like a good time, and I love red hot dogs.
I do too.
Yeah.
Would you ever do a hot dog eating contest?
Oh, sure.
You would?
Yeah, I might win it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could put them away.
Oh, that's funny. Well, now let's get a full look at our forecast with meteorologist Chase Ropanek.
Thank you very much. Your Maine weather this morning is also brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Again, a very warm start to the morning out there to begin the work week. 67 degrees here in Bangor, close to 70 in Millinocket this morning. As you know, this will lead to a warmer day for today. Looking at mid to upper 80s out there for those afternoon highs. A few showers and thunderstorms are possible further to our north as well. So we got 88 for today, but it does cool off the rest of the week. Still got some 80s to get throughout your Tuesday and Wednesday, but then just a few degrees below average of the rest of the week into the weekend, Thursday and Friday, upper 70s. Looks to be the same for Saturday and Sunday as well. So yes, we got some heat for today, but much of the week looks much better after that. So here we are throughout today. We have a little bit of a breeze from the southwest, can keep you a little bit cooler again all along your coastline, but only reaching up to 15, maybe 20 miles per hour in some spots for the afternoon hours. Winds tonight will be a little light, except for those areas that will see some thunderstorms, but once the front comes through, through. Mainly west winds for tomorrow that can gust near 20 to 25 miles per hour. So yes, your Tuesday will be a little bit breezy out there. So getting rid of a little bit of the cloud cover out there throughout the morning hours into the afternoon. More of it will stay to our north and a little bit here in Bangor as well, but your coastline should still see plenty of sunshine for today. Here's that chance for a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms. It's a slight chance. No big issues out there this afternoon, but the cold front will pass through for tonight. And a few of those storms can be strong going into the early morning hours, but they will pass through by sunrise. Here we are right around 5:30 to 6 a.m., and you'll see the skies clearing here in the Bangor area and all across the state as well. That continues into your Tuesday afternoon. Maybe again a shower or two further north, but otherwise many of us staying dry throughout much of your Tuesday. So partly cloudy skies for today. Make sure you enjoy the start of the work week. We'll have very warm temperatures in the upper 80s out there, and that warmth can produce a few showers and thunderstorms further to our north, but otherwise a little bit of a breeze out there from the southwest at 5 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, we will have those scattered showers and thunderstorms passing through. That'll be the cold front. We'll have much better weather going into your Tuesday, but yes, a few rumbles of thunder are possible throughout tonight with lows hanging out in the low to mid 60s. Here we are for tomorrow, partly cloudy and breezy. Here comes that west wind gusting near 25 miles per hour, but still very nice temperatures hanging out in the low to mid 80s. So taking a look at your extended forecast, the warmest day of the week will be today. We'll see a few thunderstorms to our north, better chances of storms overnight. Low to mid 80s Tuesday and the Wednesday, partly cloudy skies. Our next chance for showers and thunderstorms arrives Thursday, holding us in the upper 70s.
It's time to rise and dine.
GMA is hitting the road, America. Order up. Diners across America. Are we coming to the local diner in your town? This week on
Good Morning America.
In the ICU, I've seen patients being bankrupted by the cost of care, and they're having to travel 3 and 4 hours to receive that care. This didn't just happen. Susan Collins voted to support Donald Trump on the largest Medicaid cut in history. Healthcare is getting even more expensive. People are losing coverage. Labor and delivery centers are closing. Hospitals are closing. We need to tell Susan Collins to stop siding with Donald Trump. We can't afford it.
Taylor Events and Equipment Rental in Bangor for all your wedding and events, tents, tables, chairs, and more. Also see us for your home project equipment rentals. Taylor Events and Equipment Rental, 1179 Hammond Street in Bangor.
Thinking of buying a used car? Be on the alert for the potential for fraud with private vehicle sales. Knowing the signs of fraud and doing your research can help ensure you get a good deal and not swindled. Before handing over your hard-earned cash, thoroughly research the vehicle's history. And remember, if a deal seems too good to be true, it probably is. Brought to you by this station, the Maine Association of Broadcasters, and the Office of the Secretary of State.
When you combine a fast-paced word game,
4 of them make $1.
Hoarders, hosted by Leah Remini.
What is swing? Did you just say what is? Yes. You just realized you're not on Jeopardy. Okay.
You've got a recipe for fun.
I got a few dances, Leah. I like to do this guy here. At weddings, I kill it.
You do not kill nothing with that.
People Puzzler.
Weekdays at 10 on ABC7. You're watching ABC7 Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Turning to the economy now, the most recent jobs report showed a loss of 23,000 jobs, a surprise to many experts. ABC's Karen Waugh is in Washington with what President Trump says in his response to all this.
This morning, disappointing news for the health of the nation's economy. The U.S. lost 23,000 jobs in July, showing a cooling labor economy. Analysts had been expecting the addition of more than 80,000 new jobs.
This is a very bad set of outcomes.
National Economic Director Kevin Hassett defending the Trump economy, blaming high prices on the Biden administration.
People are losing their jobs at the lowest level since World War II. We've got all the cyclical things that we normally look at saying that this is an economy that's in liftoff stage.
The latest jobs report coming as many Americans still struggle with the cost of living.
Wage growth is really
much slower and struggling to keep up with inflation.
However, President Trump claimed to a crowd in Las Vegas, the economy is the best the U.S. has ever had, despite polls that show otherwise. A new Marquette poll found 61% of Americans say Trump's policies increased inflation, while 57% say gas prices have gone up a lot over the last 6 months.
They're fake polls, just like fake writers.
Checking in on gas prices this morning, the national average sits at $3.95 a gallon, according to Gas Buddy, down more than 10 cents from last week's average. Karen Hua, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced on Sunday that Israel rejects a 15-point Gaza peace roadmap plan presented by the U.S.-led Board of Peace. This maintains that Israeli forces will not withdraw until Hamas is fully disarmed. The announcement marks Israel's first official and straightforward rejection of the plan. Netanyahu told the weekly cabinet meeting that Israeli forces will continue to carry out attacks in the enclave to thwart threats. The plan was officially announced by U.S. President Donald Trump in late July, who said the board had reached an agreement on the complete disarmament of Hamas and other armed groups in Gaza. A day after Trump's announcement, Hamas said it had agreed to the latest version of the roadmap. Since a ceasefire between Hamas and Israel came into effect in October of 2025, Israeli attacks have killed more than 1,200 people and injured over 4,100 others in Gaza, according to Gaza-based health authorities.
Well, now to the deadly wildfire emergency in the West, where nearly 100 major wildfires are burning. The smoke and heat creating unsafe air quality. And north of the border, another fire crisis there. ABC Sophie Flay has more.
This morning, deadly wildfires burning out of control in the West. Firefighters working to contain nearly 100 large fires nationwide. In Utah, hundreds of thousands of acres scorched. 2 pilots were killed fighting a 174 square mile wildfire still burning. The helicopter flying in an area of steep terrain crashed, igniting another fire.
Unfortunately, the fire does not stop to let our boots on the ground mourn their comrades, so it's very heavy out there.
People in southern Oregon forced to evacuate as the Wright Spring fire grows in size. A contractor died while helping firefighters, the flames cutting him off from his escape route. Along the California-Nevada border, the so-called bug fire threatening homes near Reno. Across the region, extremely hot and dry conditions fueling the flames and straining firefighting resources. Officials forced to redeploy crews and shift equipment to the most dangerous areas. And north of the border, Canada battling its own fire crisis.
This fire is getting a lot closer.
More than 20,000 people ordered to flee their communities in British Columbia, now under a state of emergency.
Playing with the dog and noticed a big puff of smoke, and we started seeing all the soot come.
Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
Well, coming up on the second half of the newscast, a Brewer teen achieved her goal of helping local students through her backpack drive.
We'll have that story and more coming up on Good Morning Maine.
Your call is important to us.
You've heard this before, too many times. Tired of being customer 45978? Yeah, we would be too. Speed means fast uploads, no lag, and zero buffering. But it also means calling you back, showing up on time, and treating you like a person, not a problem. So whether you're working, streaming, gaming, or all three, it is time to make the switch to a provider that actually tries. Go NetSpeed. Service isn't dead. It just moved local.
Webb's RV Center has a 4-acre lot with over 75 previously owned campers all on sale, plus another 4 acres of new RVs and motorhomes. Webb's RV will take anything in trade. You can buy a camper anywhere, but be sure to buy your next camper at your local neighbor. A website can't service your RV, but Webb's RV will. And they have the biggest service department in the state of Maine to help you enjoy your RV or motorhome.
So come on down, neighbor. The coffee pot's on and the pencil is sharp.
Fires, floods, burst pipes. Disasters happen, but the mess they leave behind doesn't have to last. For 40 years, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration has been there to help Mainers get back to the closest to normal as they can. When your property is at its worst, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration is at their best, and they have been for 4 decades. Put your trust in the Bouchard team. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest.
I've been waiting a long time to be on your comfort, compassion, caring couch.
You're such an icon, and I know that word is overused today, but you really are. All the things about myself that make me nervous, but on you it shines so brightly and give me permission to be myself.
That's what makes you so special, and that's why people love coming here.
Oh my God, this is so fun, you guys. I'm so grateful that you're all here. Thank you for coming today.
On Fox 22.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
Hey, welcome back to Good Morning Maine. Today is Monday, August 10th, 2026. And this is also National Lazy Day.
I like the sounds of
I
that.
could get into this one too.
This holiday gives official permission to ditch responsibilities, ignore chores, and fully embrace the art of relaxation. It was a prominent British philosopher who argued that a reduction in work hours and an increase in leisure time were essential to human happiness and societal well-being. Bertrand Russell believed that enjoying some idle time can foster creativity, contemplation, and a richer cultural life. So kick back, put your feet up, and enjoy some lazy time today.
If anybody gives you a hassle, just tell them, hey, I'm contemplating here.
Yes.
I'm thinking about things.
Well, it's a good excuse, and a good Monday's always a good day as well
Yeah.
to be a little lazy.
We always need a little time to recharge. that's for
Sure do.
All right, it's time for some history. It was on this date back in 1776. News reached London that the Americans had drafted the Declaration of Independence. Up until then, King George saw the conflict underway in Massachusetts as really just a local uprising, but it was clearly much more. The British Parliament refused to negotiate with the rebels, and it would take winning the American Revolution to abolish British authority over the colonies. In 1846, the Smithsonian Institution was formed in Washington, and it was all thanks to an English scientist named James Smithson, who left his estate to the United States to fund an establishment for the diffusion of knowledge. That's what they do at schools. It's a diffusion of knowledge. Yeah, kind of like that term. And in 1927, President Calvin Coolidge arrived on horseback to dedicate Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. The carving actually began 2 months later.
And in 1939, The Wizard of Oz made its world premiere during its first showing in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Why they picked Green Bay, Wisconsin?
That's what I was thinking,
I'll have to look
too.
into that. That's interesting.
I would think New York City or something,
Yeah.
you know. In 1945, a day after the atomic bombing of Nagasaki, Japan announced its willingness to surrender as long as the status of Japan's emperor remained unchanged. The Allies said that they would determine the emperor's future status, and Japan later accepted an unconditional surrender. In 1977, postal employee David Berkowitz was arrested and accused of being the son of Sam Gunman. He was later convicted of killing 6 people and wounded 7 in the New York City area. Berkowitz claimed demons and his neighbor's dog had ordered him to commit those killings. And lastly, in 1993, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was sworn in as the second female justice on the Supreme Court, and she would serve until her death in 2020.
All right, for birthdays today, they include actress and Maine native Anna Kendrick. She is 41 years old today. Football Hall of Famer Deion Sanders is 59, and actor Sam Elliott is 82 years old today. Still
He's
making movies.
fantastic,
Yeah, he's
yes.
one of my favorites. So happy birthday to you also if your birthday is today.
We'll turn things right back over to meteorologist Chase Ropanek.
Thank you very much. Your first weather this morning is brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. All right, a pretty warm morning out there to start off the work week. We have lows this morning in the mid to upper 60s here in Bangor, close to 70 in Millinocket this morning. Some areas a bit cooler, low 60s for Clayton Lake. You see that down in the southwestern portion of the state. 55 for you in Portland, but still a very warm morning here in the central portions of the viewing area. And we'll warm up throughout today as well. Looking at mid to upper 80s out there this afternoon. Many of us look to stay dry with partly cloudy skies. We can see here a bit cooler up north. That's due to a slight chance for a few showers and thunderstorms that can cool you cool you off in the northern state of the northern tier of the state this afternoon. So as we go throughout today, you will see plenty of sunshine here in the Bangor and coastal regions. But yes, here's that cloud cover further north for you with that slight chance for a few pop-up showers and a few thunderstorms are possible as well. We'll have better chances for those showers and thunderstorms head into overnight. This is when the cold front's going to pass through and we'll have much better weather going into your Tuesday. So your hour-by-hour forecast for today, still plenty of dry hours out there. Don't be canceling any plans to start off the work week. We're going to warm up nicely. Partly cloudy skies out there this afternoon, looking at mid to upper 80s into the afternoon hours. And again, with a slight chance for a few thunderstorms heading into the northern tier of the state.
All right, thank you, Chase. Well, now for the latest on what's happening in Hollywood.
Here's ABC's Allison Cossack.
What is happening to me?
Spider-Man still dominating box offices around the world 2 weeks after release. It's now the 12th highest grossing movie ever worldwide with $1.67 billion in ticket sales. Marvel is owned by Disney, the parent company of ABC News.
Ithaca's king is coming back. No, he's not.
Meanwhile, The Odyssey became director Christopher Nolan's highest grossing movie ever with $1.1 billion.
To finding true love on the least romantic night of the year.
Hitting theaters over the weekend, One Night Only, the romantic comedy starring Callum Turner and Monica Barbaro debuted to $5.7 million at the box office. And Barbie is honoring Whitney Houston with a signature collector doll. The doll comes with the iconic singer's dress from the I Wanna Dance with Somebody music video and a mic stand. And happy birthday to Angie Harmon, who turns 54 today. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
Well, still to come here this morning, Max Sturm with sports.
Don't go away.
Driving is what drives me. But when the day winds down, it's back to the daily drive. That's why I choose AAA Auto Insurance. Wherever the road leads, AAA is by my side.
Looking for the perfect gift? Come explore the Purple Baboon. Sweatshirts, t-shirts, jewelry, inspiring local books, one-of-a-kind treasures and souvenirs, they have something for everyone. The Purple Baboon, the best selection at great prices. 31 Front Street, Belfast.
Situated in Jonesboro on the coast of Maine lies Barren View Golf Course, a true links course that's a treat for golfers of all skill levels. We feature a driving range, putting green, practice sand trap, pro shop, and snack bar. Open 7 days a week. Please call ahead for a tee time.
You dance expensive. 12 of the world's greatest dancers will live together and compete to become a pro dancer on the next season of Dancing with the Stars.
I've put everything on the line for this.
This is my dream.
I want to see you fight for it.
That could be on Dancing with the Stars tomorrow.
Peter Pan here. You know, I thought growing up would be the worst, but then I found a way to hack adulthood. It's called AAA. With AAA, I'm covered from roadside to poolside, and insurance and member perks that make adulting a breeze. With AAA, it pays to be a member.
ABC 7 and Fox 22's Jack Webb named Maine Sportscaster of the Year by the National Sports Media Association.
Welcome back in, folks. The racing season at the newly named Speedway presented by Bar Harbor Bank and Trust began just about 2 months ago, and so far, it's been a resounding success.
I appreciate being home and the feeling of community that's being created here.
Just over 2 months ago, the first full race season at the newly branded Speedway presented by Bar Harbor Bank and Trust began, and so far, it has been a resounding success.
Yeah, it's been a great start, and I think the feedback we've gotten is that people have been surprised and to some degree impressed with what we've created in a short amount of time. We've brought a high level of racing, auto racing, to Central Maine.
That positive feedback has not only been shown by the number of fans in the grandstands.
The attendance has been very strong, and on both sides of the racetrack, the front and the back. The product, again, has been outstanding. It's been very good racing.
But also by the drivers themselves.
I remember a few years racing here, and there wasn't many fans here at all, or cars. So the support that they've showed Ricky has been great. I think he's done a phenomenal job with it so far. I think it's going to continue to grow.
The season may already be halfway over, but Craven says the best racing is yet to come.
Our Bar Harbor Bank and Trust 200 is going to be a major event. It's on drivers' radar. The winning driver could take home upwards of $36,000.
Craven has experienced the highest of highs professionally as a NASCAR Cup winner, but he would tell you that building a successful racetrack has been just as rewarding.
Winning at the top division, that was business. I mean, that was my lifelong objective. This is more personal.
But as he alluded to back in the spring, that doesn't mean he doesn't still have the urge to get behind the wheel.
Is that something that you still want to do? And if so, when do you want to do that?
Every day. I'm not kidding. I'm intrigued by what I see. We got some great competitors. They're running very, very fast laps. I just scratch my head and say, I think I can do that. Yeah, I think I could do that. I think I might even be able to beat that. I'm talking one lap, okay? That's all.
From the fast lane, Max Sturm, ABC 7 and Fox 22 Sports.
Ricky Craven is a NASCAR legend, and I love what he's doing over there in Herman. And on the topic of legends, 5 of them in the NFL were inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame on Saturday. Earlier this year, 5 legends of the game were announced to be a part of the class of 2026 Hall of Fame, those being Saints quarterback Drew Brees, Cardinals wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald, Panthers linebacker Luke Kuechly, 49ers running back Roger Craig, and of course, Patriots 3-time Super Bowl champion kicker Adam Vinatieri. They were all officially inducted on Saturday in Canton, Ohio, where the hall resides and where they were also able to give their acceptance speeches.
So here I stand at the top of the mountain, the pinnacle of greatness, the highest achievement in my professional career. And I can officially say my biggest dreams have come true.
All my life, I've been lucky enough to be surrounded by people and great institutions that have surrounded me and nurtured me and inspired me to pursue excellence.
Folks, it is almost that time. I've been waiting 7 months for these words. Football is back. Next Thursday, the New England Patriots will play in their first preseason game versus the Indianapolis Colts at Gillette Stadium. And I can almost guarantee you that guys we will not see for more than a couple of drives will be guys like Drake May, A.J. Brown, but that will give us a chance to see what the Pats have beneath the starting 22. And good news for you, we'll be airing it right here on Fox 22 at 7:30, so make sure to tune in. And lastly, folks, a big weekend next weekend for sports here in Maine. 2 highly anticipated events are going down, and the first of those is the 18th annual Wayne's Wiffle for a Wish tournament, a wiffle ball tourney started by Wayne Harvey in 2009 to benefit Make-A-Wish Bangor. They are closing in on almost $250,000 in lifetime donations. Additionally, Cooper Flagg is coming back to town as he and his brother Ace will be hosting their 2nd annual basketball training camp at the University of Maine in Orono, where elementary kids will get hands-on experience and instruction and play with the NBA and Black Bears stars. For right now, that's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Keep your vehicle running smooth this summer with help from Frost's Garage.
It's really hot in my car all the time.
We'll get you AC service, no problem.
Really pulls to one side and shakes a lot.
Sounds like you need some front-end work. Not a problem.
It really used to fly. Now it barely just chugs along.
Could just need a tune-up. We'll take a look.
No matter the issue, Frost's Garage will keep your vehicle safe all year long.
I'd say it flies now.
Need a driveway paved or an entire road surfaced? Give Eaton Paving and Excavation a call. Eaton Paving offers a full line of excavation packages, from new home projects to new and replacement septics and driveways. We also install new shoreland and do shoreland repairs. Our operators have more than 75 years combined experience, and we have been delivering quality, professional service for nearly 3 decades. We strive to exceed your expectations. Give us a call today at 207-348-5630 or visit us at EatonPaving.com.
In the ICU, I've seen patients being bankrupted by the cost of care, and they're having to travel 3 and 4 hours to receive that care. This didn't just happen. Susan Collins voted to support Donald Trump on the largest Medicaid cut in history. Healthcare is getting even more expensive. People are losing coverage. Labor and delivery centers are closing. Hospitals are closing. We need to tell Susan Collins to stop siding with Donald Trump. We can't afford it.
Welcome back, everyone. A teen from Brewer donated over 600 backpacks to achieve her goal of helping local students get ready for school.
Our Sam Miller with a story.
For the past 9 years, 15-year-old Ava Burke of Brewer has donated backpacks to Penguins' We've Got Your Back program. Burke started when she was 6 years old, and instead of asking for presents, she wanted to make a difference.
I figured why not give back to other kids who really need things and help them go back to school confident.
With the aid of friends, businesses, and locals, Burke and her family collected and donated over 625 backpacks to the program on Friday, which provides school supplies for students in need throughout Penobscot, Knox, and Piscataquis counties. Burke says the excitement she sees from the community is what makes her work worth every second.
I was here last year actually handing out the backpacks when the kids came in, and it feels so great just to see them and the impact this has.
Burke will continue to donate moving forward, and has a goal this year of donating 1,000 backpacks total. Community Relations Manager Renee Muscatel has been with Penquist for 17 years and highlighted how important it is for kids to know that people like Ava care about their needs.
Families who come here, it means so much to them. And the kids know that someone cares about their education and we've invested in their education. And I think that's really important for young people to know that they're cared for and their education matters. And Ava is right behind that effort, making sure these are high quality backpacks that every kid can have.
You can help contribute to the program at www.givebackpacks.org/donate. In Bangor, Sam Miller, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, congratulations to Ava. She's done it again.
She's done it once again. We had her on the show not too long ago, and she expressed her appreciation with a lot of local businesses in the area as well, because they kind of set up drop-off locations for people. So definitely a community effort there, and congratulations.
Great thing to do.
Well, now here's meteorologist Chase Ropanek with our full weather forecast.
Thank you very much. Your main weather this morning is also brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Again, a very warm start to the morning out there to begin the work week. 67 degrees here in Bangor, close to 70 in Millinocket this morning. As you know, this will lead to a warmer day for today. Looking at mid to upper 80s out there for those afternoon highs. A few showers and thunderstorms are possible further to our north as well. So we got 88 for today, but it does cool off the rest of the week. Still got some 80s to get through throughout your Tuesday and Wednesday, but then just a few degrees below average of the rest of the week into the weekend, Thursday and Friday, upper 70s. Looks to be the same for Saturday and Sunday as well. So yes, we got some heat for today, but much of the week looks much better after that. So here we are throughout today. We have a little bit of a breeze from the southwest, could keep you a little bit cooler again all along your coastline, but only reaching up to 15, maybe 20 miles per hour in some spots for the afternoon hours. Winds tonight will be a little light, except for those areas that will see some thunderstorms, but once the front comes through, mainly west winds for tomorrow, I can guess near 20 to 25 miles per hour. So yes, your Tuesday will be a little bit breezy out there. So getting rid of a little bit of the cloud cover out there throughout the morning hours into the afternoon. More of it will stay to our north and a little bit here in Bangor as well, but your coastline should still see plenty of sunshine for today. Here's that chance for a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms. It's a slight chance. No big issues out there this afternoon, but the cold front will pass through for tonight. And a few of those storms can be strong going into the early morning hours, but they will pass through by sunrise. Here we are right around 5:30 to 6 a.m. and you'll see the skies clearing here in the Bangor area and all across the state as well. That continues into your Tuesday afternoon. Maybe again a shower or two further north, but otherwise many of us staying dry throughout much of your Tuesday. So partly cloudy skies for today. Make sure you enjoy the start of the work week. We'll have very warm temperatures in the upper 80s out there, and that warmth can produce a few showers and thunderstorms further to our north, but otherwise a little bit of a breeze out there from the southwest at 5 to 15 miles per hour. For tonight, we will have those scattered showers and thunderstorms passing through. That'll be the cold front. We'll have much better weather going into your Tuesday, but yes, a few rumbles of thunder are possible throughout tonight with lows hanging out in the low to mid 60s. Here we are for tomorrow, partly cloudy and breezy. Here comes that west wind gusting near 25 miles per hour, but still very nice temperatures hanging out in the low to mid 80s. So taking a look at your extended forecast, the warmest day of the week will be today. We'll see a few thunderstorms to our north, better chances of storms overnight. Low to mid 80s Tuesday and the Wednesday, partly cloudy skies. Our next chance for showers and thunderstorms arrives Thursday, holding us in the upper 70s.
Disturbing news about threats of violence against women. Is it Graham Plattner again? No, it's Troy Jackson. When a female legislator disagreed with Jackson, he threw a water bottle at her in anger. The woman was deeply frightened. Jackson was known for bullying, and his screaming felt like intentional intimidation. His brash conduct with women raised alarm bells about his temperament. Troy Jackson, another phony we can't trust. Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
RSV can be dangerous for infants and some young children and is the leading cause of infant hospitalization in the U.S. So what can you do? The Centers for Disease Control recommends protecting your baby from getting very sick by getting an RSV immunization for infants and some older babies, or even an RSV vaccine given to the mother during pregnancy, which could make a shot for an infant unnecessary. Protect your baby today. This message brought to you by the Maine CDC, this station, and the Maine Association of Broadcasters.
Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. So you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
Taylor Events and Equipment Rental in Bangor for all your wedding and events, tents, tables, chairs, and more. Also see us for your home project equipment rentals. Taylor Events and Equipment Rental, 1179 Hammond Street in Bangor.
Wednesday, big stars try to win big money for charity.
What's your gut instinct?
We don't know.
And don't miss an ending that no one saw coming.
We're going for $1 million.
The Emmy-winning Millionaire, Wednesday on ABC.
Kite lovers from around the world flock to Colombo, Sri Lanka, as the country's capital hosts its International Kite Festival. Hundreds of international and local kite enthusiasts sent their colorful kites flying into the sky over the weekend. The kites were of all shapes and sizes and themes as well, including animals, sea creatures, cartoon characters, and traditional figures.
We are very happy today. Derna Colombo National Kite Festival today. It has become one of the world's biggest kite festival. It is rated as one of the best 10 kite festivals in the world. Last year's was a very successful event. So today we are having a better event than last year. Better participants, actually participants from 30 countries and 80 participants from 30 countries. That's a great thing. Also, actually, we expect there are 2,500 local participants competition.
It is the 6th edition of that festival.
Looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, hundreds flocked to Russia for a yearly festival dressed in their best costumes to paddle across a popular waterway. Many gathered in Moscow on Sunday while dressed up in the wild looks to row merrily down the stream on the Yezu River. The paddleboarders donned colorful outfits, traditional costumes, and other fun pieces as they made their way through the Russian capital. They were serenaded by live bands and cheerleaders above them, and keeping that energy level high during the event. One participant even highlighted the need for the carnival, saying frivolous events like this help bring people together.
I agree.
Yes,
yeah.
I love all the costumes.
Yeah, it looks like fun too.
It
was
sure
a little
does.
packed there at the beginning, but
Yeah.
once it got going, it wasn't bad.
That's funny.
We ought to do with that down on the Penobscot,
We
Janessa.
could.
You know?
We could set it up.
That'd be fun.
It would be.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time that we have left for this hour, but you can join us for the second hour of Good Morning Maine. That's next on Fox 22.
Have a great day, everyone.
At the County Federal Credit Union, we value the trust our members place in us to act in their best interest. Whether it's providing low rates on consumer loans or raising money to end hunger, we work hard to serve our members and the communities in which they live. We are excited to bring the meaningful and impactful work we do to all Mainers as we continue to grow. Wherever you are in life's journey, count on the county to be your financial partner.
This
is the furniture America has waited 250 years for. Bob's Sedona Power Reclining Sofa, genuine leather seats. The Homeworks Dining Set, lift top storage. The Solitude Bedroom, over 700 five-star reviews. And the Playday Sectional, made from 100% American ambition.
Celebrate America's favorite furniture at Bob's,
where America shops for furniture.
Trademark!
Oh my Bob! Bob's Discount Furniture.
Some days start with busted belts and bruised knuckles. But out here, fixing things is just part of the ride. No matter what I'm doing, I have just the right tool close by. Then it's time to unwind and catch your breath, or maybe dinner. From fixing it right to living it fully, Coastal Auto Parts and Milwaukee Packout Systems help me get to the moments that matter most with the people that matter more.
Think you're good at trivia? Arrange these holidays, these historic first, these animals by weight.
I have no idea.
Congratulations, you have built the perfect line. I'm Deborah Norville, and this is The Perfect Line.
Onion rings before, in between onion rings and pizza.
Definitely after. This is what happy looks like.
Weekdays at 10 on Fox 22.
Good Morning Maine on WFVX, Fox 22. From the Great Northwoods to the Rock-On Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello, everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, many departments responded to a large structure fire in the town of Rockwood last night. We'll have the latest details coming up.
Plus, new information has now been released regarding the fatal explosion at Robbins Lumber Mill back in May.
And the state's highest court has affirmed motive care for non-emergency transportation for Maine Care members. We'll tell you what that means as well.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us on this Monday morning. We hope you had a great weekend. Turned out to be a little bit better weather-wise.
Yeah, it did. I thought Saturday was kind of just going to be a wash, but it cleared up and ended up, sunny skies, and it was pretty nice.
Boy, it rained real hard for a while.
It sure did.
Yeah, it was great for the